Hi everyone. In this video, we will learn how to find out the gradient of multiple lines on a graph. In the earlier previous video, we have learned about what is gradient. Gradient is the steepness of a line, or you can say slope, right? And gradient is denoted with the letter m, right? Small m. Here, I can see here in the graph, the first line it's starting from A and B, right? The first line is A and B. The second is B and C. The third one is C and D, and then E. Okay, D and E, and then E to F. The green one is E to F. Can you see that green E one is E to F? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. So in this graph, as you can see that the gradient of from B to C, it's 0, right? The gradient is 0 here. And can you see this? A green line like from E to F, like from this E to F. This is a straight vertical line, and here gradient is undefined. Okay. So these two lines, like from B and C, is a gradient 0. The gradient is 0, sorry, and E and F, the gradient is undefined. So line AB, from A to B, we need to find out the gradient, right? And then C to D, and then D to E, right? These three lines we need to find out the gradient. So A and B line is it's going downward, right? So the gradient is supposed to be negative. Line C and D is going upward, so the gradient is supposed to be positive. And D and E is going down. So come on, tell me in the comment box. You know that what is the gradient there? The gradient should be in negative, right? Okay, so the first line A and B, I've already solved it here. The coordinates. For the gradient, you must need the coordinates. And you know that coordinates means the x and y axis, right? So every point has two numbers, right? X and y. So here I have mentioned, let me take the different color. Here I've mentioned about A, the coordinates x is -4 and y is 2 here. Let's check in the graph. Here see x. This is horizontal line. This is horizontal line here. This x is, I'm talking about A, right? X is -4. This x is -4, right? And the y, just check on the y-axis, the vertical line, it is 2 here, right? It is 2. Can you see this 2 here? This is 2. This one is 2. Right, so x is -4 into. I hope that you people understood about the coordinates. In my previous video, I explained about how to find out the x and y axis. So if you haven't watched that video, so first watch that one, and then because that video is very important to find out the coordinates, because finding the coordinates is the basic part of this gradient, right? Okay, so the A coordinates are -4 and 2. Now the B coordinates is -3 and 1. So -3 is x. Now check the B1. The B1, it's -3. It's -3 here. And in a y-axis, it's 1. Okay, so the coordinates I have mentioned here of the A1 and the B1. Now we know the formula of the gradient is that y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. The change in y over change in x, right? So the first coordinate like of A1, we can say that this is x1 and y1, right? This is x1 and y1, and the B is x2 and y2 because this is the second point, right? So first of all, we need to write down y2 minus y1. So here the y2 value is 1, right? So I wrote it here 1, right? Minus, the formula is giving to you minus, and y1 is 2. So I replace y1 as a 2 divided by x2. So what is x2 here? The b coordinates of x1. The first one is minus 3 here. The formula has a minus sign and x1 is minus 4. I wrote this in the bracket because minus minus gives you plus here, right? Minus minus is plus here. So 1 minus 2, answer is minus 1, and then minus 3 and minus minus plus 4. So when we solve this, answer gives you negative 1. So the gradient of a line AB is minus 1. Okay, I already told you about the line BC, that the gradient for the BC is 0. Let's solve the third line like C and D, right? So C and D, first of all, we need to write down the coordinates, right? Okay, sorry. Okay, okay, I hope that you can see this graph clearly, right? Okay, okay, fine. Now the CD, right? B and C, I already told you the gradient is 0 here, right? Now line C and D, right? The coordinates of C. So we need 2 points, x-axis and y-axis. Okay? So we can say this is x1 and y1, right? So let's check the coordinates of C. So here C, can you see this minus 1 here? Minus 1, right? So X is minus 1 because in the horizontal, this point, this mark, the C point here, the x-axis is minus 1 on the horizontal path. So I'm writing minus 1 here. And this cross, this one, the C cross, the y-axis towards the vertical line, it's 1 here, positive 1. Okay, so x is minus 1 and y is positive 1. Okay, now the d coordinates is this one. Can you see this between line, the blue line here, d? So x-axis, it just go down, 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 down. This is 0.5, right? And this is called x2 and y2 because this is the second point. This is D point, the second point. Now y2 is, what is y2 here? dy2. y2 is this one. So here is this point lies, this cross lies between 2 and 3. So this is 2.5. Okay, now we know the formula is y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. Change in y, numerator, and change in x-axis in denominator, right? So y2 here is 2.5. I'm substituting the values, okay? Formula says minus sign. Okay, I put the minus sign here. And y1. Where is y1? y1 is the coordinates of the second part, right? The second is the y value and it's 1, right? Divided by x2. What is x2 here? 0.2. Sorry, 0.5 minus x1 is negative 1. So negative 1 should be inside the bracket. So 2.5 minus 1 is, it gives you 1.5 over 0.5 plus 1. 0.5 minus minus is plus 1. So it gives you 1.5, right? Now I can cancel it. 1.5, 1.5 and gives you 1. So the gradient of line CD is 1 here. Understood? Okay, now let's solve. Sorry. Next line, which is D and E. And though the line is going down, so the gradient should be in negative. Okay. Students, can you solve D and E and write the answer in the comment? So it's very easy because I have solved the gradient of line AB and the line CD. So now this is your task that you need to solve D and E, and do write the answers in the comment box and subscribe my channel. And right, so see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.